Well then, welcome back everybody to Commentators Corner. Andy and I were treated to a good Spanish Grand Prix, lots of strategies and even a shootout for that fastest lap, first one we've seen. Andy, our return to the commentary box at F1 2019, that was a pretty good race to return on.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was pretty good indeed. The Spanish Grand Prix can be either one of those really exciting races or one of those ones where you don't see too much. But we've seen a bit of everything, as you say. We've seen some overtaking on track, seen some really good defensive driving, especially from White in the early stages and later on with Lyronics before the German got past. Great strategy choices as well, especially from our race victor as well, starting on the hard tyres. And we've seen some spins and incidents as well. You had a little bit of everything, and it's definitely a great way for me and you to kick off commentating on the new game as well, and a great way to have TTL going to round 3 and heading into the later part of the season for this 11-round season.
Absolutely, and the first person to join us in Commentators Corner for the new game is Alan Kay. Alan, bit of a tough race, it's fair to say. Just talk us through what happened.
Well, you might look at it as a tough race. As I said, you asked me last game when I was doing the videos with line off, was I going to be changing to it? I told you I was going to go completely no assist to the elite driving proficiency on this game. So the first couple of races that I had, and it was sort of being lapped, I think it was lapped 3 times. So last couple have only been lapped twice. So as I was saying to Spike and a couple of other guys, the aim is throughout the season to keep progressing forward to sort of towards the end of the season, not to be lapped, so it will be competitive next season. But some good signs there, some good battles with Plaster early on, some nice overtakes and some nice defence. We got a couple of overtakes on me as well, and I think Uzi was in the middle of us there at one stage as well. So keeping up with the guys up until Plaster ran wide out of turn 5, and I just tried to get on the power too early to get by him. If I had just kept driving, normally I would have been past him anyway, so I don't know why I got excited and planted the foot, but I did, and that just sent me around, so that sort of ended my race there. But other than that, it was going well, and some positive points and stuff to build on, so all in all a good race.
And yeah, you did have that good battle with Plaster just before the first stint was about to come to an end, and then out of turn 5 it all went pear-shaped.
Yeah, as we were coming into it, I was just right behind him, sticking behind him. I knew he got me under DRS the last time around on the main straight, and I knew if I'd have a chance either down into the end of the second sector or else on the back straight again with DRS myself, I could just stick with him. So I was just sticking beside him, and just as I seen him drift out wide onto the curb on the exit of turn 5, I knew he couldn't put the power down because, again, he's on no traction control now as well. So I knew by myself not having traction control, he couldn't put the power down there, or he was going to spin it himself. So well, I had to just kept going normally, I would have passed him down and the run down to turn 6, but I got a bit happy and planted my foot a bit too early, and I went around as well then. So unfortunately I wasn't able to keep it out of the wall and lost my whole front wing, so that was a trip back to the pits. I decided then to go for 2 soft stints rather than going to the hards, and I'm not particularly a fan of the hards in this game yet, so tried to stay away from them and just went for a 2-stop onto 2 sets of softs. Yeah.
And so you got Canada coming up next. Are you a fan of this the odd round, even round seasons? Are you happy with Canada next up?
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me whether it was full or full calendar or half and half. Yeah, Canada is a track I'm a fan of. It's a track I have. I kind of have my braking points down and stuff, and my apex speeds a bit more than other tracks. So, sort of coming into a little run of tracks that I have sort of a bit of experience and run on also. Hopefully we can get a bit better and get a bit of practice in between now and the end of the season for the finishing tracks. And
round 4 coming up, so we'll have a good idea about how you're performing in the season. But early on, where's your target for the season? Where would you like to finish in the drivers?
I didn't really care coming into the season, but after 3 races to be on into double figures in points now, anywhere but bottom will do. I no longer don't care where I want to finish. I just don't want to finish last now. That's the new aim. So I suppose that's the season goes and see how I'm picking up more, if I'm picking up more points or what the story is. I got points in the first race because everyone crashed out. A lot of people crashed out. Everyone kept on track at China and I wasn't able to score. So again tonight I got points because everyone crashed out. Or a lot of people crashed out. So it all depends on how many show up, I suppose, and how many people on track will be able to pick up any more points going through the season. But hopefully, go and pick up a few more along the way.
Andy, I'll hand over the questions to you.
I've just got the one really. Did you set up your car to be quicker down the straights? Because one of the things we were talking about when you were fighting with Plaster is how you seem to be mugging him off basically down the straights. He seemed to be like he was driving a milk float in comparison. Was that due to your setup, or is it, were you just getting better traction out of the final corner, or what do you think it was?
No, he was actually getting better traction out of the final corner. It was just more my straight line speed in the car. I don't know, it's just I tried a few, like the likes of a couple of the guys who tried Spike setup and a few others, and the sort of 9 or 10 on the rear wing, 4 or 5 on the front wing, I couldn't get any pace down the straight, and I was still fighting it a bit in the corner. So I think it was a recon setup I adjusted in the end slightly. It was a 7-6 wing, so 7 front wing, 6 wing, so little less downforce, or a little less drag on the rear. Slightly a little bit more on the front end and a bit more downforce on the front end, but it seemed to be quicker in a straight line, and I was able to was a little bit more oversteery than understeery, so I could get into the corners a bit more as well, which helped.
Well then, thank you very much, Alan, for joining us, and hopefully we shall see you in Canada.
Thank you very much, lads, and see you then.
So next up in the commentary box, we do have our race winner, Spike. Spike, how are you tonight?
Guys, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. And as is tradition, that's the end of Commentators Corner. No, I'm only kidding. First race win of the season, Spike. It looked like it was a calculated strategy. How did you feel after that one?
Yeah, good. Enjoyed that. About time. Probably, arguably, should have at least perhaps 1-2 race wins in. I had chances both at China and Australia, but both didn't quite go my way. But this one did go my way, so it's good.
And you just seem to be a story of two different strategies. You just seem to have the harder tyre onto the mediums. You also had the pace in the rain, so it was obviously that compromise of running a dry strategy in the wet. Do you think qualifying really helped you take the race win today?
I think I got the strategy wrong on the tyres. The first run I did 2 or 3, and then laps, and went quicker. And then for some reason, I don't know why, I changed it to lower fuel and just doing 1 push lap, which didn't really work for me because I didn't quite have the fronts in for the first sector. But P3 was okay considering the car was quite tricky in the wet. But yeah, P3 good start. So the good starting position. Sorry, yeah.
And obviously it's 7 points out of that gap now between you and Laronix. That takes it down to 12 points. There you go, quick maths. Obviously now, with 3 races down, your target surely will be set on that title.
Well, it's early days. Feel pretty comfortable in the game. I haven't been on all the tracks yet, obviously, so I'm still expecting to be relatively slow on street tracks. Not my favourite, but we'll see how it goes. And yeah, the gap could have been 11 points, but a certain somebody pitted at the end and stole my fastest lap. But never mind, it's in the game this time. So
you see, now you know how it feels, Spike, to have the fastest lap taken away from you.
Oh, I never did that ever.
Oh no, you'd never did that.
No, it's absolutely fine. That's exactly why it's in the game. It's good that you get a point for it. It just just annoying on the opposite side of the coin, obviously.
It's nice to know I'm not the only one you get annoyed with, Spike, when you rob a lap from you.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all fine. I wasn't secretly wishing he drops it on the final corner, but hey.
So we've got Canada up next. Narrow track, quite a fast-flowing track as well. You looking forward to it?
I haven't driven a lap round it yet in 2019, so well, I don't think I have. Maybe I have and I've forgotten, but we'll see how it is in this game. I was quite good on an 18 on it, so we'll have to see. I'm sure, like always, the rest of the boys will be there or thereabouts. Hopefully next week won't be as warm, so there'll be more people. Because obviously 12 was a little bit low tonight. It would have been nice to have 17 or 18 like we did the first two, but we'll come back next week and hopefully we'll have that many.
Andy, I'll hand over the mic to you.
Just got the one question. It's a bit of a hypothetical one, obviously, but would your strategy have changed? What would you think your strategy would have been if it hadn't been for a wet qualifying? If it had been a dry qualifying, would you have gone for the mediums on your fastest lap, or would you have gone for the soft tyres?
Nah, I've gone for the softs. You dry quality, you're going to go for the pole. I haven't done enough tyres strategies in the game to know what the fastest strategy is yet. Two-stop at China would have worked quite well, but I screwed up by running into the back of my teammate and damaging my wing. So that stops me. But it probably would have been a 2, possibly a 1. I would have looked at the strategies and looked at the difference in time.
You definitely kept some cracking pace on the hards, and especially in that early stint, you stayed within 2 seconds, and that made your race up. So congratulations on a perfectly executed strategy, regardless.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the hards are really good. It was nice to be. I mean, the first couple of laps they definitely had a pace advantage, but I wasn't too worried. Stuck with them, and then they battled a bit, and then I managed to get DRS as they pitted, which was nice. And then I pushed on that lap and set the fastest lap, which was nice to see. And then yeah, had good pace, and then they came out on fresh hards and they weren't faster. I was holding the gap, so that was good. So I think I must have had a couple of tenths here and there, at least over White. I'm not sure. I think Lauronic spent most of the race behind White, so I don't know if it would have been any different if he'd been ahead. But yeah, it was good. Good fun.
And there you go, just shows you the difference between two drivers. You quite enjoyed the hard tyres, and Alan Kay was trying to stay away from them. Just shows you the difference. But congratulations on the win, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, thank you.
And that brings us to the end of Commentators Corner. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you're notified every time TTTV goes live. Next time it goes live will be tomorrow night for TTFL. So make sure you do tune in for that one. 8 o'clock the stream will start. Make sure you're following the league on Twitter. It's at TTL_F1. You can follow me whilst you're there as well. It's at KSMCGF1. And you can follow Andy whilst you're there as well.
And that is at Andy81287.
Next round is Canada in 1 week's time. We hope to see you there. In the meantime, I've been Kieran McGinley.
And I've been Andy Campbell.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.
Ta-da.